So these scrape marks on the road are the aftermath of losing our left front wheel on State Highway. We heard a weird noise and just thought that it was gear in the back moving around. Steering didn't feel any different, nothing at all felt different about the vehicle until we saw the wheel fly past us. So we continued on for a very long time with absolutely no brakes. Continued, thankfully, to roll, as you can tell by the scrape marks, really, really straight. But at 90k, with no brakes, it takes a very long time to be able to roll to a stop. Wheel got out unscathed and everything's okay, but loose wheel nuts just didn't seem to. So nothing wobbled. There's no wobble. Nothing felt weird or otherwise. This nice truckie in front of us, who was actually following behind, saw us, didn't get taken out in our misadventure, and stopped to make sure that we're okay. If I've got to get a couple of new bolts, then so be it. Right, that'll get me up the road somewhere a little bit safer.
Right. Are you going to come up tomorrow? Or
probably not at this rate.
I'll catch up with you when we're back in town.
Well, the thing is, I can't. That's part of the reason why. Well, not the only reason, but one of the reasons behind why this. I can't get the Tirana in there.
Oh.
And the Ute, marginally, the Ute strike's getting in as well. Oh, and last time I took Deb's car in there, I got it stuck on the judder bar going in, so be careful.
Thanks for the heads up.
Gone around and done the dodgy mechanics trick of taking a wheel nut off each of the other wheels and managed to get it all back together, enough to get it out of the way of the dangerous spot. But you can see it's definitely taken its toll on our brake shoes and wheel cylinder and otherwise. Certainly not what we had in mind when we headed away on this camping adventure, but that's how these things go, and it adds to the adventure. We're all nice and safe, and quite an interesting experience losing a wheel. I can't say that's ever happened to me before. The offender was driving fine. We had a bit of a weird noise that almost sounded like a front CV, but for the speed that we're doing, I didn't think it was a front CV. Nor did it sound like it was on the passenger side either. So it wasn't until the wheel completely left the vehicle and went past us that I realised there was a problem, at which point it was still driving along on three wheels, perfectly balanced until it dropped off, and then realised we had absolutely no brakes. And it's quite amazing how far you coast along the flat at 90k with no brakes, and there's not really a hell of a lot that you can do about it except for just gently steer and hold on, and yeah, that's about all you can do really. Don't take for granted that your wheel nuts are tight. Just decided to check these while I'm waiting for my tow to get me back to town, and I'm quite concerned by just how loose they actually are. Not having to put a great amount of force into this bar. I haven't actually got a torque wrench on me, but I'd be very curious as to just how loose they are. No, this isn't what we're looking for. see just how far out of torque our wheel nuts actually are. In the interest of seeing how tight I'd done them up last night, and with the over tight on the torque wrench, I'm just going to back one of them off and have another go. So that generally becomes pretty indicative that they were indeed loose last night. Right, so damage-wise, what we've got is a very flat lower wheel cylinder. Looks like we need a couple of new brake shoes, as they've done their best to slow us down, just not in the way they were intended to do it. And a brake backing plate that's an interesting shape now. Also, well, the shocks are probably still okay. They've just had a little bit of a weight saving on the bottom. What one of the guys noticed when he was being a good Samaritan with our wheel is that the bushes are a little bit tired. So it just wouldn't be a project without a list. Let's get to it. Okay, so I'm no Land Rover expert yet, and I haven't done that many wheel bearings, but I don't believe that that's a good thing to be coming out of the dust cap, and it doesn't smell particularly good either, so we might do something about that. So this is the bearing race, or one of the bearing races out of the passenger side. This is the one that fell off. And we found, I don't know if you can quite see it around where my finger is here, some heat marks in it. I initially thought that the lack of grease in the wheel bearing may have been as a result of brake fluid from the severed wheel cylinder, which actually doesn't make much sense when you look at where the wheel cylinder is, and it was the bottom one that we had ground off. So physics tells you that wouldn't be happening. I've checked the other side and that looks really suspicious as well.